Another day of campaign and another update, and this one is hopefully super interesting for you. A dedicated long video with me explaining how the game works, what's interesting in the game. So take a coffee, take a cookies, because it will be a long video. I'm going to talk about this game for quite a few minutes, explaining why the game is interesting for you. Maybe it's not interesting for you. You will learn this from this video. So let's start. Vienna Connection is a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players. It is inspired by the system of the game called Detective, but it is a completely different beast. It is a new beast, it is a new system, new rules, a new style of a game. So in this video I want to show you how it works and what's interesting in the game. The game takes about 2 to 3 hours to finish one mission. There is 4 missions in the game, and these missions are like a game night experience, like a meaty, deep, engaging, immersive, interesting, a ton of names, ton of places, motivations, different agencies, a lot of things to note, a lot of things to discuss. This is not the game to rush. This is not the game that, oh, let's finish it in 1 hour, it's gonna be awesome. No. You take your time, you take your nose, you take your time, and have just an amazing immersive experience. So set these 2 or 3 hours of your time, prepare good drinks, prepare a white map, prepare a big map of Europe that you will get in our campaign, and you will be set for an amazing game night. The game is officially for 1 to 5 players. Personally, from my experience doing the playtesting the game over these months, I would recommend 3 and 4 players as the best solution, because there's so many things to remember, so many things to note, so many things to track. This is a complex plot. This is a complex spy plot, political plot. So definitely you can play it solo, absolutely yes. But oh my god, this is difficult. This is a difficult game, this is a difficult plot. And it's so much easier for you if you have a couple of people at the table discussing, debating, throwing arguments, and thinking about what happened. This is a game that shines when there's this table talk discussion. And when I was playtesting, and I was playtesting in all different variants of players, I absolutely remember that the best playtest games was with 3 and 4 players. The game is for players aged 16 or more, and this is because of the few reasons. First of all, on some cards and some documents there is a cursing involved. Some of the topics are quite drastic when you have dead bodies, and some of the bodies were tortured, etc. So this is definitely not for the kids. But what is even more is the fact that this is a very serious and rather boring for kids topic. It is a game about the political situation in Europe in 70s. There is no kid on this planet who is interested in that, let's face it. It is a game for the adults, it is a game for all of us who are interested in the history, who are interested in the history of the Europe, who are interested in the agendas and goals and things that were in the minds of Soviets and CIA. This is a game for the adults, as I said, both in terms of the curse words, in the drastic scenes, but also because of the theme. Political stories is not something that kids want to experience. Let's discuss the different rules and different changes in the system that the Vienna Connection is introducing to boost the immersion, to make you more and more engaged and feel like being in a spy game. The first big change, if you compare to the game, Detective, is the zones, introduction of the zones. In the game you have 4 different zones, the white, blue, yellow and red zone, and these zones represent the sections of the city, places in the city that are somehow connected. For instance, the blue zone is hotels, restaurants, public places, pubs. And the yellow zone, for instance, is places where criminals and all the people who are against the law are available. And you as agents sent to Europe, sent to this city, if you are visiting these pubs and the locals and the restaurants, and at some point Soviet agents will notice that these American guys are often visiting these restaurants. They're always going to this with this prostitute. They're always discussing with this pub, and they will notice you. And this mechanism in this game is called zones. If you are visiting a card from this particular zone, you will have to cross out the space in this zone on the board, and each of the zones has a limited number of spaces. And if you visit this zone too many times, if you go there too often, you will fill all the spaces, and then the problem starts. Next time you want to visit this particular zone, this particular place, this particular location, you have to start crossing in the section called Men in Black. And Men in Black represents the Soviets, represent that Soviets finally noticed you. They are aware that you are in the city. They are aware that CIA agents are doing some operation, and you start crossing spaces in this Men in Black section. If you cross out all the sections in this section, you have to stop the mission, you have to abort the mission. CIA decides to pull out the agents from the region because it's dangerous for them. So when you play this game, you are not tracking the time. You don't have a particular number of days or particular number of hours to solve the mission. It's how long you may stay unnoticed. We use the expression exposure. Each of the cars and each of the regions have these exposure limits and exposure levels, and you try to go as slow as possible so nobody notices us. And at some point it will be impossible. At some point you will say, okay, we need to go to the yellow zone. It is a very important lead. Soviets will notice us, but we have to go there. You go there, you cross out the Men in Black section, and the game is over, but you hopefully get this information. So this zone mechanism is this balancing act between where we want to go and where we actually can go, because in other places we are already burned, we are already exposure, already noticed, and we cannot go any longer there. It's thematic, it's engaging, it makes players discuss and debate. No, we cannot go there, we were too many times already, let's go to different zone, let's try to find different clues, let's go in a different direction. A great engaging moment in the games, and when we were playtesting it worked very, very well, and I'm very, very happy, and it is a huge twist in the system of detective. Next change, if you want to compare Vienna Connection to Detective, is the files. Detective is a modern crime board game, and besides the cards, you have so much more additional files and documents in Antar's website. Here the action takes place in the 70s, and we didn't want to go in some prehistoric layout of the computer and pretend that you have access to computers. No, you don't have access to computers. You have access to fax and telephones. This is what you have. This is technology you have at your disposal. So we came with a solution which was ridiculous and crazy, and my production manager was terrified when he heard it for the first time. We came with the actual file, and this folder has 100 pages. You have 100 pages of different files, documents, transcripts, fragments of newspapers, maps, a ton of stuff. 100 pages of documents to solve the case, to solve the game. Epic, amazing, extremely immersive. The moment when you play the first mission and second mission and the third mission, and you have all these files from previous cases, and you have them sorted, and these are the personal files, and these are the transcripts, and this is intercepted transmissions, and you have all of these things. It is so cool to feel like actual agent, actual spy in 70s with all these documents. As always with this system, you will not get access to all of these files. You will see, I don't know, 30 or 40% of them. The rest will remain in the box, and you will never get to them. And maybe when you finish the whole campaign, you will want to read them. But these 100 pages of files is mind-blowing, and it adds so much immersion. Here, when we shoot the videos, we have it set up the way like players are playing. Like they have all these notes, all these papers, they write on them. It's absolutely amazing, and it's a huge change in the game that you are not using Antra's website, you are using actual physical documents, 100 pages. The next new element in the game is covert operations. So you have a secret operation in each mission. When you begin the mission, I will not spoil, I will not open it, not spoil, but in each mission you have an envelope like that, and there are 3 dedicated to this mission secret operations that you can take, and these are separate from the lead, separate from the basic introduction of the mission, basic leads that you have. You always have 3 operations to take. They are at your disposal at the very beginning of the game, in the rulebook, and in this video I say don't start the game with the operations. Learn more, discover more facts, learn what's happening, and then decide to do one of these operations. To do them you have to spend local agents. During each mission you will have access to 4 local agents, a local journalist, a local policeman, a local criminals sometime, and they will help you. But you never have enough local agents. There is always more operations to do compared to the number of local agents you have. So you have to discuss, you have to debate, you have to think which of these operations is important for us, which one is able to push the story forward. And what is more, we want to surprise you. So sometimes, not in every mission, but sometimes in some of the missions during the game, you will discover new operations. You will have a chance to pull off new operation, and then if you already spend your local agents, it's wasted. So great element of the game, covert operations. To make them you have to spend the local agents you have at the very beginning and sacrifice them, and then you will discover something new. So once again you feel like agents. You're debating, you have, okay, we have these 3 operations, which one we want to do, this one will provide us with that, this one will give us that, what we want to do, which action we want to take. Once again, we wanted to give you this feel, strategic feel of we are managing local operations, we are managing local agents, we are managing the decisions for CIA, and this is amazing. Vienna Connection has also a very different approach to game end. If you play in Detective, it was a deduction game in which you had to answer the super simple question of who killed and why. Here in the Vienna Connection we changed the pace of the game, we changed the theme of the game, we changed the how you think about the story. So at the very beginning of the game we will not ask you who killed. This is not such a situation. We will ask you something else, and the epilogue of the game, the final segment of the game, is actually divided into 2 parts. The first part, the epilogue, depends on you, how you and your group played the game. During the game session, on different files, on different documents, and on different cards, you will find elements of the puzzle, and different puzzles. And you are able to gather all these puzzles, build from them one answer, one code word, and this code word can be typed into the Antares. And if you have all these puzzles for this one code, if you gather them all on different files and cards, and if you type it right into the Antares database, you will unlock dedicated, unique outro for your gaming group. So what is here fascinating and different from the base game of Detective is that between you and your group and your friends who play the game with a different group, you might have a very different outros. You may learn something different in the final of the game, because you unlocked different puzzles, because you discovered something else than your mates discovered in their group, and their epilogue was different than yours, which is very, very exciting, because you know that you have something dedicated to you and your actions and your discoveries. And then on top of that, at the very beginning of this game, you have a choice, and the choice is that the CIA asks you for the final report, and in this final report you recommend further actions of CIA for this particular case. So you are pulled off from the field, you are removed from the field because it is too dangerous right now for you. But in your final report you say, we recommend for CIA to do that and that and that and that. And there is a many choices, many options you can pick from. And you cannot pick all of them, you can pick only 2 of them. And this is this amazing and engaging moment in the game when at the final moments of the session, players are debating and discussing what CIA should do now. Should they eliminate this person because it's dangerous? Should they arrest this person? Should they interrogate this person? Should they put some watch on one of these persons? There's so many choices, so many options, and spoiler alert, most of them are good options, but they will drive and head towards a different ending. They will drive and towards different answers in the upcoming cases. So we are changing a little bit your beginning of the next game. So now you have a control of the story. Now you can say that let's eliminate this person, and it will be eliminated for the future cases. Or you say let's arrest him and interrogate him, and you will get some information that will maybe helpful for you in the future. So quite the experience for players, and as we were playtesting, I saw all these debates and arguments, and no, we cannot do this, this is more important, and they are arguing and they are thinking, let's think about the whole plot line, let's think about the arch story. This person doesn't seem interesting and important now, but I bet it's important next. Let's watch him, let's tell CIA that they should watch this person. What will happen with them later? And other person says, no, we need to eliminate this dude, he's dangerous, he will mess the whole campaign, let's get rid of him right now. And they are looking at the whole picture, they are looking at this particular mission they just finished and are debating. And because I'm cruel, they have only 2 options out of many interesting options. And as I said, almost each of these options is a good choice, but it will go with a different direction for the whole story. And so we are deciding how the story will develop for you in the future. So this is very exciting, and we are so much proud of the final result of this segment of the game. I think it is a really interesting development of the detective system, with players choosing how the story will go. Because it's a spy game, we had to add the option with code cards and ciphers and all this jazz that you know from the spy movies and you know from the spy books. And it was mandatory. And we have 2 ways of playing with you with the codes. The first one is the code cards. In each mission, in this envelope, you will find a dedicated code card for you for this mission. CIA is giving you this code card, and during the game, if you manage to get to the situation, depending how the game works and how the game develops, if you manage to get some secret information from CIA, some secret messages, some support from CIA, it will always be secret, and you will have to use your code card to decode it and to understand what CIA is telling you. And we use the actual code cards from a real world. The first code card, @1 Sir, is an example of the real card from the real world. The other cards were made up by us because they had to match the story. But the first one, the initial one, @1 Sir, you can Google it out, and this is the real thing. And you are going to use a real codes from 70s playing this game, and I find it so cool and so immersive. So one thing is that you are using code cards to decipher information sent to you by CIA and protected by this code, so Soviets don't read it. And on the other side, you are going to have access, depending how the story develops, to intercept the messages from Soviet and other agencies, but they are decrypted, so you will have to decipher them. And for that we use the sort of escape room-ish solutions, and on the cards and sometimes on the files you will find small riddles, small mathematical riddles to solve. And cracking this mathematical puzzle, cracking this equation and finding the real answer, you will crack the code and you will unlock transcription of the Soviets. So it's very interesting once again for you that okay, we here they are talking, but it is in the cipher, so we have to decipher that, and you will in real life, you at the table, you will be cracking the code and trying to decipher that. And if you do the right math, you will get access to the file with the deciphered transmission. If your group hates mathematics, in the entrance there will be a chance to just click we don't want to solve it, just give us the answer. So it will be also the easy peasy way to play that. But in my playtesting groups, in all the groups we had 1 or 2 players who loved mathematics, who loved to crack the code, and who was very happy that at some point his skills, his talents and his passion matters to solve the game. And he was doing all this mathematics equation, and he was giving, yes, 23, and well, let's check it, yes, it's 23, good job, you decipher that. And these are these fine, amazing moments during the game when you crack the code. So yes, you are being a spy, you are going to be a spy, and you are going to play with the real code cards from 70s, and you are going to decipher Soviet messages. So on so many different levels, as I'm talking already for a couple of minutes, you have all these different zones that you are going to visit. You have all these 100 pages of files and reports and newspapers. You have these ciphers and code cards. This is the true spy game. And if you played any of my games, Stronghold or Robinson Crusoe or Detective, you know that I and my team, we can pull out amazing immersive thematic game, and this is no other. Vienna Connection is probably the most thematic spy game on the market, and if you like this genre, you will have a treat. In the rulebook you will find a bibliography with a list of the books and the movies we recommend for you to check out, to discover, to learn about the theme. And because we are still a couple of weeks before the release of the game, so maybe it's a great time for you to download the rulebook, read the rulebook and check out the bibliography, and pick one of two movies or 1 or 2 books and read them to get used to the theme, to get deep into the stories of this era. And there's one more thing that I want to share before we finish this video. Vienna Connection is by far the most immersive spy game on the market, but at the same time it is not the game for everyone. And I'm designer, I'm publisher of the game. I would love all of you to play the game. I would love all of you to love the game. But this is a political game. This is about historical events in 1970s in Europe, and this is not for everyone. This is not exciting topic, exciting theme for everybody. So that's why I'm mentioning these movies. That's why I'm mentioning these books. Maybe you do some research, watch 1 or 2 movies and see if this is something for you. Because I don't want you to be disappointed. I don't want you to buy the game and then find it boring or uninteresting. This is the game about you trying to solve the mystery for the Soviet operation. Trying to think what they want to achieve in Europe, what tools they are using, how you can challenge them. But it's a serious adult content, political content about the history of the Cold War. For those of you historical maniacs, people who love to get such stories, it will be a real treat. It will be absolutely mind-blowing experience, meeting real historical figures, visiting real historical places and taking part in the historical events. For somebody else it may be just boring history lesson, and maybe it will be not interesting. So I strongly recommend learn more about the game, learn more about this era, maybe watch 1 or 2 movies and decide. In my opinion, it's an amazing game. We did our best to create the most immersive and engaging spy game on the market, and my playtesters loved the experience. But also I saw this is not a game for everyone. We had a couple of playtesters who said, no, we prefer different stories, and spies, it's not for us. So keep that in mind, discuss with your gaming group if they feel like being a spy is a cool idea, and decipher things and have these code cards and have these different zones to visit and read the transcripts of the Soviet agents, and this is amazing. But still a very, very niche topic, spies. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please ask them below the video. I will answer them personally, and if there is more of these questions, if there is like a ton of questions, I'm happy to record a second video for you to address all these questions. So don't hesitate, ask me everything you want to know about the game. We are here for you. This is a pre-order campaign for Vienna Connection. This is for you. Check out our website to see daily updates. Every single day we update the campaign with some new additional unlocked materials. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for supporting us. Please share the news about Vienna Connection with your friends on the game forums, on the Facebook groups. We appreciate the support, and here it is, one of the most amazing games we ever designed here at Portal Games, Vienna Connection.